Today is Sunday, and the news is about an event that's taking place in the Vatican of the Holy See over in Rome. They're going to canonize two of the former popes. And as you can see here on the list that I have got up from the official Catholic information, you see number 261 is Blessed John, XXIII, which is 23. Reigned from 1958 to 1963. Then we have number 264 is the Blessed John Paul II, reigned from 78 to 2005. They will be declared as saints today officially in the ceremony. But basically what I'm going to talk about is the problems of their authority, of their plans, and I'm not necessarily just talking about the typical things that you hear in the news, which are red herrings, like the pedophilia. That is a horrible problem, but that is not the main problem. People need to face that. And we've got to understand the flow of history of this entity. This is an entity. There have been even some radical Protestants that call this the beast. They could call it the Antichrist. But we need to have more specific interpretation. They even call it the woman. They call it this drunken whore that's riding on the scarlet beast. Or is she a scarlet woman? This kind of symbology is coming out of some of the books of the Bible, and it's in the book of Revelation, although that's the last part of the Bible. It's not only in Revelations. So I'm not going to get into the interpretation of the scripture in that way. I want to say a few sweeping points here, that if you have an overall view of this entity that began in, I think it was 1962 up until 1965 when they had the Second Vatican Council. The First Vatican Council was more than 100 years before that, so it's sometime in the early 19th century. Basically, at the time of the second, or you can call it Vatican II, that was under Pope John XXIII, who today is being canonized. And this was a overhaul of the Church's face in the world and their modus operandus, because they got rid of the Latin Mass and etc., etc. I do not want to dwell on the traditional internal Catholic dispute, because that's been well documented. And I don't, as I said, I don't want to get into all the pedophilia and stuff, which people think that's the main reason why Benedict was put down and they replaced him. Not replaced, but they overlapped him with the present Pope Francis. And as you can see, as the footage is starting to come out, live documentary or live news coverage, you can see both of these popes that are alive presiding in this ceremony. So I'm not going to take too long on this. I'm doing this video simultaneously with what's going on in Rome right now. But I'm going to follow this up for anybody who's interested. So you can look in the coming week. I'll put out some deeper ideas. But I just want to tell you, like, it has a lot to do with The fact that the church is not facing a main thing that they have to face. It's the elephant in the room, as the saying goes. And Vatican II seems to be covering that up. Washing people's feet and all that seems to be covering it up. This kind of liberal approach that they're taking now with Pope Francis seems to be just to throw everybody off the scent, because they know they're being hunted. And the hunt is on now. And the hypocrisy will be exposed. The hypocrisy. And that is what's coming at them. And you can canonize two at the same time, and you can run two living popes at the same time. You can create two heads for the entity in some way to confuse people. But the thing is dead. It's going to have to be absorbed, that part of it which is worthy of keeping, and the rest of it will be discarded, will be reinvented. It's a historical turning point. I will be back with more details to tell you what my opinion is and give you some more history, because if you don't know history, you have no idea what this is about. In closing, I watched Richard Tapley's, he's Third Eagle Books, take apart Dabu 77, the idiot that I keep warning you about. If you're watching Dabu, you have no idea what the truth is. You have no idea what I'm talking about. He says that the church is really worshiping Lucifer because suddenly he discovered that they use in the Latin Mass, or speaking in Latin, the word Lucifer. So, this guy doesn't know what Lucifer is. This guy doesn't know what the church is doing. He's playing games with words. So a warning to everybody out there, be careful who you listen to.